I am Dr. Meenakshi Mahur, Assistant Professor, Zoology, Sri Samvalaji Government College, Manfia, Chittorgarh. Today, my topic is fish preservation. Fish is very susceptible to spoilage than other animals, protein foods like meat and eggs. So, preservation is a very necessary which can prevent spoilage of fish. What is preservation? Preservation means keeping the fish after it has landed in a condition wholesome and fit for human consumption for a short period to few days or for longer periods of over few months. Immediately after the catch is received, the fish is given a thorough wash with chlorinated seawater which eliminate bacteria, and then preservation is done by some methods which I will discuss later. During the period of preservation, the fish is kept as fresh as possible with minimum losses in flavor, taste, odor, form, nutritive value, weight, and digestibility of flesh. But how can we identify that fish is fresh or not? So, if color of skin is vivid, not opaque, then fish is fresh. Scales should be intact or adhere well. The body of the fish should be stiff and a little shining. And if we place fish in water, it will sink. Then it is a fresh fish. Odor should not be strong and fishy. Its gills should be red and eyes should be bright. So these are the some common features by which we can identify freshness of the fish. Now, what are the steps which we take during fish preservation? First is cleaning. It inhibits spoilage activity and keeps hygienic condition at all levels of handling of fish. Then refrigeration. Lower temperature will lower autolytic enzyme activities and slow down bacterial multiplication. At 27 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, autolysis is quite rapid, but at 6 degrees Celsius, the enzymic activity gets slowed down. Then high temperature. Heat decomposes autolytic enzymes and then brings their activity to stop. A temperature in the range of 110 degrees Celsius to 121 degrees Celsius under steam pressure of 7 kg per 6.45 square centimeter kills all such bacteria which cause fish spoilage. The next step is dehydration. Dehydration means removal of water. It makes bacteria very difficult to survive and even kill them. So it can be done by treating the fishes with alcohols or suitable preservatives. Then salting. The presence of high salt concentration destroys autolytic enzymes and then stops bacterial activity. Actually, salt removes the moisture from the fish tissue by the osmosis. Actually, when there is a moisture, then there is a chances of bacterial growth. So it is very important step that we remove all the moisture from the fish tissues by osmosis. Then radiation treatment. When the fishes are exposed to low concentration radiation, that is a gamma rays, bacteria or other microbes will completely be destroyed. Then fish preservatives. There are many drugs and chemicals which are used for fish preservation like ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C. It prevents acidity in fatty fish. Then chemical ice means ice which contains small concentration of sodium nitrite. And ureomycin, which is an antibiotic. It can be obtained from fungus as Europhacians. Then phenolic component of smoke like catechol from certain woods which have antiseptic properties. It is also used for fish preservation. Then vinegar, which is also known as acetic acid. It is a powerful preservative. And detergents like sodium resinolite, it is a bactericidal. Then salicylic acid and boric acid, it is mostly used to preserve Pacific salmon. Then chemical preservatives like sodium benzoate, sodium carbon dioxide, sodium hypochlorite, sulfur dioxide, sodium bisulfite, hydrogen peroxide, and sodium chloride. They are chemicals which are used for fish preservation. Then tetracycline. It is used as an antibiotic for the preservation of fishes. So these are all chemicals which are used for fish preservation. Now, methods of preservation. It includes so many methods like cleaning, chilling, freezing and freeze drying, salting, canning, drying, and value added fish product. So first method is cleaning and chilling. So cleaning, when the preservation is required for a longer period of time, the fishes are passed through cleaning, gutting, and conservation and storage. While cleaning, the caught fish are washed in cold and clean water, which removes bacteria, slime, blood feces, and mud from the body surface of fish. Then large fishes are gutted. Gut means that all the internal organs or viscera are removed from fish body, and then body cavity is washed. Now conservation is done, which keep the dead fish in a fresh condition for quite long time, and it is achieved by employing methods like freezing, drying, salting, smoking, and canning, which I will explain in later slides. Then chilling. When we cover the fish with layers of ice, it preserves fish for a longer time. Actually, ice is very effective for short-term preservation, but if we keep ice for many days, then we can preserve fish for long period. When we need to transport landed fish to nearby markets or to canning factories, icing is used. It prevents the activity of autolytic enzyme because of lower temperature, and it prevents spoilage of fishes. Now freezing and freeze drying. Freezing means removal of heat from the body. Properly frozen fish at minus 20 degrees Celsius retains its physical properties and nutritive values for a year or more, and it is almost as good as a fresh fish. There are many methods. Which by which we can freeze fishes. First, direct immersion of fish in the refrigerating medium, then indirect contact with the refrigerant through plates, then forced convection of refrigerated air directed at heat transfer surface. Actually, there are some methods which are adopted through sharp freezer, air blast freezer, contact plate freezer, immersion freezing, liquid freon freezing, liquid nitrogen freezing, and cryogenic freezing. So these are all methods which are included in freezing of fishes. Now, freeze drying. It is a modified deep freezing method which actually completely eliminates all chances of denaturation. The deep frozen fish at minus 20 degrees Celsius is dried by direct sublimation of ice to water vapor without turning into liquid. So this is achieved by exposing the frozen fish to 140 degrees Celsius in a vacuum chamber. Then the fish is packed or canned in dried condition. This product is quite fresh looking in appearance, flavor, color and quality. So liquefied nitrogen, carbon dioxide or air is also used for freezing, and for transportation of frozen fish by air, solid carbon dioxide, that is a dry ice, is also used. So quick freezing methods are more advantageous. Now salting. Salting is the process where the common salt, that is a sodium chloride, is used for preservation. It penetrates the tissue and checks the bacterial growth and inactivates the enzyme. Salt absorbs moisture of the cell, and it also brings about plasmolysis of bacterial cell, and the enzyme of tissue are also destroyed. So it can prevent decomposition. A small fish can be salted as such, while bigger fishes has to be dressed. Means the gills and internal organs are removed, and then they are split open along the vertebral column. There are two methods which are employed in salting of fishes. First is dry salting and the second is wet salting. In dry salting process, the fish is first rubbed in a salt and packed in a layers in the tubs and cemented tank. Then the salt is applied in between the layers of fishes. And after 10 to 24 hours, the fishes are removed from the tubs and washed in a salt brine and then dried in the sun for 2-3 days. Then wet salting. The clean fish are put in a previously prepared concentrated salt solution. It is stirred daily till it is properly pickled, and after pickling for 7 to 10 days, the salty water that oozes out from the fish is allowed to drain off, and this can be stored up to 3 to 4 months. So in salting, the fishes are either immersed in a concentrated salt solution or are kept in boxes with alternate layers of salt and fish. Salting is done in a fish preservation earlier to other processes like drying, smoking and canning processes. Now smoking. The flesh of smoked fish is a tender and delicious and can also be consumed without further cooking. But one disadvantage is that it has a very short shelf life. Actually, smoking is an intermediate step in the preparation of canned smoked fish. So, smoke is prepared by burning woods with less resinous matter. The smoke contains gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrocarbons, and acid vapors and phenols. In this, bacteria which are non-spore type are destroyed by the acid content of the smoke, and the phenol and the phenol derivatives give its characteristic color, taste, and odor. There are some methods of smoking. First is hot smoking. In this, fish is first washed and then salted, and then excess salt is rinsed, and then fishes are tied in bundles. Then these bundles are arranged as a layers in a cages, then fried, cooked, and then subjected to hot smoking, which is done inside kilns. Then cold smoking. The fish is dressed and salt dried. Then the dried fish is stacked in bundles and then subjected to smoking at a maximum temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, and it is for about 3 to 4 days. Then electrostatic smoking. In this fishes are first smoked and then cooked. Then smoking is done in a big containers under high voltage electrical field. Smoke is provided by generators and this is a comparatively quick method. It usually saves it only takes only 1/10 of the normal time. Then combined smoking method. And these fishes are first immersed in a solution of smoke fluids for a minute before being smoked for 12 to 16 hours. And this reduces smoking time and increases production. Then canning. The principle of canning is the destruction of microorganisms present in the fish and it is done by heat application. In canning, microorganisms are killed through heat. Oily fishes are more suitable for canning like salmon, tuna, sardine, herring, lobster, shrimps. They are the fishes which are being canned in various countries including India. Canning is done by putting cleaned, dressed, and cut fish into a saline solution. Then, canned fish is then packed in a cans and sealed airtight so that no more microorganisms can enter the fish. And these food can kept at a room temperature for years and sometimes on the small scale they are preserved by pasting, pickling and spicing. Now drying. It involves dehydration. That is the removal of moisture content of the fish by which bacterial decomposition or enzymic autolysis can be prevented. And it can be done by natural or artificial means. In natural drying, the fishes after being caught are washed and dried in sunshine. In artificial drying, the killed fishes are cleaned, gutted, and have their heads removed. Then they are cut lengthwise to remove large parts of the spinal column, which is followed by washing and drying them mechanically. By vacuum drying, moisture is removed by application of low temperature in vacuum and then heat is given by conduction or radiation. Now, value added fish products. Actually, it increases the profitability in fish processing and sale in domestic and international markets. Actually, it has become a market requirement as the wholesale traders, retail outlets, and consumers are on the lookout for fish products that require minimum preparation. So, this may be fish sausage, fish fillets, fish cutlets, dehydrated fish products, fish pickles, fish flakes or wafers, and then fish noodles. Now, some of the problems which are causing hindrance in fish preservation. They are denaturation and problems which arises out of industrial process. So first, denaturation. Due to refrigeration at a very low temperature, the fish almost loses its flavor and taste, and the flesh become very dry, tough, and dehydrated. How can we control and prevent denaturation? So it can be done by quick freezing, wrapping the fishes in waterproof foils, films, etc., and packing the product in a sealed containers like canning. Now, problems arising of industrial process. So if the processes are carried on carelessness and unhygienic, they may cause damage instead of preservation. So we need to care. We need to take care of cleaning and gutting. Then handling of fishes during transport, marketing, or even capturing also may risk of helping the bacterial spoilage. So we should take care of all these things. By taking care of these things, we can prevent fish spoilage. So it's all about fish preservation. Thank you.